In the frozen forests of World War II, a young woman with a rifle changed the course of history. Her name was Roza Shanina, and by the age of 20, she had become one of the most feared snipers on the Eastern Front. This is her story, a story of courage, determination, and sacrifice that deserves to be remembered. Roza Yegorovna Shanina was born on April 3, 1924, in a small village called Edma in northern Russia. Her village was tiny, with only 22 houses scattered among the birch forests. Life there was simple and hard. Most families were poor, and children learned early that survival meant working together and never giving up. Roza grew up in a large family with 5 brothers and sisters. Her father, Yegor Mikhailovich, worked as a logger and milkman. Her mother, Anna Alexeyevna, took care of the home and the children. The family didn't have much money, but they had each other. They grew their own food, raised animals, and helped their neighbors. Young Roza learned to be tough from an early age. As a child, Roza was different from other girls in her village. She loved reading books and dreamed of getting an education. In those days, many village children never learned to read or write properly, but Roza wanted more. She wanted to see the world beyond her small village. She wanted to learn everything she could. When Roza was young, she had to walk many kilometers through snow and cold to reach the nearest school. Sometimes the journey took hours, but she never missed a day if she could help it. Her teachers noticed that she was special. She was smart, hardworking, and determined. While other children played, Roza studied. While others complained about the cold walk to school, Roza just kept going. Roza's love for learning took her far from home. After finishing her basic education, she moved to the city of Arkhangelsk to continue her studies. This was a big step for a girl from a tiny village. In the city, she trained to become a kindergarten teacher. She loved working with children and believed education was the key to a better life. Life seemed peaceful and full of promise. Roza was building her future, making plans, and working hard. But then, everything changed. On June 22, 1941, Nazi Germany invaded the Soviet Union. The invasion was massive and brutal. Millions of soldiers poured across the border, bringing death and destruction. The news of the invasion shocked everyone in the Soviet Union. Cities were bombed, villages were burned, families were torn apart. The Nazi forces seemed unstoppable as they pushed deeper into Soviet territory. Every day brought more terrible news. Every day, more people died. For Roza, the war became personal in the worst way possible. In 1941, her older brother was killed fighting the Nazi invaders. The news devastated her family. Roza felt a deep pain in her heart that would never completely heal. Her brother had been protecting their homeland, and now he was gone forever. But grief soon turned into determination. Roza decided she would not sit safely at home while others fought and died. She would not be a bystander in this terrible war. She wanted to fight. She wanted to make the Nazi invaders pay for what they had done to her brother and to her country. In 1943, when Roza was just 19 years old, she tried to join the Soviet military, but it wasn't easy. The military recruiters looked at this young woman from a village and said no. They told her that war was not a place for women. They said she should stay home where it was safe. They refused to give her a uniform or a weapon. Most people would have given up, but Roza was not most people. She had walked for hours through snow to get an education. She had left her village to study in the city. She had overcome every obstacle in her life through determination. She would not give up now. Roza wrote letters to military officials. She went to recruiting offices again and again. She argued and pleaded. She told them she could shoot, she could march, she could fight. Finally, her persistence paid off. The military authorities agreed to let her attend the Central Women's Sniper Training School in Moscow. The sniper school was tough, very tough. The training was designed to break weak students and forge the survivors into perfect killing machines. Students learned how to shoot with incredible accuracy. They learned how to hide in nature for hours without moving. They learned how to calculate wind speed and distance. They learned how to be patient, waiting for the perfect moment to take a shot. Roza excelled at everything. She had grown up in the forests of northern Russia, so hiding in nature felt natural to her. She had learned patience as a teacher. She had the determination to practice shooting for hours until every shot was perfect. Her instructors were impressed. This young village girl was becoming a deadly weapon. The training wasn't just about shooting. Snipers needed to be smart and creative. They needed to understand human psychology. They needed to know how soldiers thought and moved. They needed to be able to predict where an enemy would appear next. Roza studied all of this carefully. By the time Roza graduated from sniper school in April 1944, she was ready for combat. She was assigned to the 184th Rifle Division as part of a sniper unit. Finally, after all her determination and hard work, she was going to fight the Nazi invaders who had killed her brother. Roza's first experience of real combat came during the battles in what is now Belarus and the Baltic states. The fighting there was brutal and intense. The Nazi forces were trying to hold their positions, while the Soviet forces were pushing them back toward Germany. Every meter of ground was paid for in blood. As a sniper, Roza's job was different from regular soldiers. She didn't charge into battle with thousands of others. Instead, she found hidden positions where she could see enemy soldiers without being seen herself. She would wait, sometimes for many hours, until a valuable target appeared. Then, with one carefully aimed shot, she would eliminate that target. Roza quickly proved she was exceptionally good at her job. She was patient and calm under pressure. She never rushed a shot. She studied her targets carefully, learning their patterns and habits. Other soldiers began to hear stories about the young woman sniper who never missed. What made Roza truly special among snipers was her ability to hit multiple targets very quickly. Most snipers focused on one target at a time. But Roza had practiced a technique where she could shoot several enemies in rapid succession before they could find cover. This was extremely difficult and dangerous, but Roza had mastered it. Military records show that Roza personally killed at least 59 enemy soldiers during her service. Some historians believe the real number might have been higher, as not every kill was officially recorded in the chaos of battle. Each one of those shots represented a Nazi soldier who would never harm another innocent person. But Roza wasn't just a machine that killed enemies. She was still a human being with feelings and thoughts. She kept a diary during the war, writing down her experiences and emotions. These diary entries show us that she understood the weight of what she was doing. Taking a human life, even an enemy's life, was not something she took lightly. In her diary, Roza wrote about missing her family and her village. She wrote about the friends she made among the other soldiers. She wrote about the terrible things she saw in war, the death, the destruction, the suffering. She also wrote about her determination to keep fighting until victory was achieved. One thing that made Roza different from many soldiers was that she specifically asked to be sent to the most dangerous parts of the front line. When other soldiers hoped for easier assignments, Roza volunteered for the hardest battles. She wanted to be where she could do the most damage to the enemy. This attitude earned her great respect from her fellow soldiers. Male soldiers who had initially doubted whether women could fight soon learned that Roza was braver and more skilled than most men. She became known not just as a good sniper, but as a fearless warrior who inspired others.